I'm just kidding. So I want you guys to think about the last time that you felt like an alien. So I don't mean the outer space kind of alien. I mean alien as in other, different, foreign, the opposite of native. So you're in a new place. You're not really sure what's going on. There's a language that you don't really get. People are expecting something of you, and you don't really know what to do. And you're here to stay. Think about what that feels like. The tension, the anxiety, the fear. So this is a feeling that I've come to know pretty well in life. You know, partially as an artist, but partially as an immigrant. I remember when I was 9 years old, my father, who's a physics teacher, started to paint walls in the projects to make ends meet. We had just come from the Soviet Union. It was 7 of us, and we were living in a studio apartment. We were on food stamps, and we didn't know the language. Everyone was scrambling to get by. So my parents put me into American school because they thought it was an easy way to learn the language, you know, sink or swim. And I remember that first day sitting there, not knowing how to raise my hand and say, "Can I have some water? Where do I go next? What's that guy yelling at me for?" And every day, it would get harder and harder. I'd constantly feel intimidated, bullied, just really sad. And it kind of built up inside, and one day, when my dad was home, washing his hands, I said, "Dad, why did you come here? You know, back home, you were a respected physics teacher, one of the best in the country. You wrote books, you lectured. You're a painter. What are you doing?" My dad just looked at me and he said, "No one owes us anything. We came for an opportunity. We came for you." Think of that, being 9 years old, getting that weight. We're here for you. Go do something with that. So I spent a lot of time trying to figure out, well, how was I going to come through on that sacrifice, right? What was I going to do to find myself? I was always a weird and peculiar kid. I loved art and storytelling. What was I going to do with all of that? And then I discovered coding. And it was like a light opened up. I can create worlds. I can make the imagination visible. I was hooked. So I went to school for it, and I finally landed this incredible job on Wall Street. And I have to say, that first day coming in a collared shirt, all I could remember was that studio apartment and how we were on food stamps. I had that immigrant grit, and so I just went for it. I took every opportunity I had. I stayed late nights. I took every freaking project they gave me, and I started to rise. And my parents were so excited. They told all their friends. And then something really strange started to happen. With every accomplishment, my happiness level started to go down. I didn't get it, right? I mean, this was the American dream. I'm following it. What's going on? And so I said, maybe I'm just not setting my sights high enough. What I need to do is reach even bigger. And I did, and the same thing would happen. I'd work hard. I'd disappear from my family, my friend's life for a year. I'd come back, I'd accomplish something, and 3 weeks later, poof, gone. What's going on? Started going into a really big depression. On the outside, it was perfect, happy. On the inside, when I was at home, I would just sit there. What I started to realize was what I got into all this for was for creation. I loved creating. And that just wasn't really a part of my job description anymore. Now, I think that passion is a practice. It's not something that you have. And I was not being a practitioner. I always wanted to start a company, but I tell you, I was always too much of a wimp to do it. I saw all these smart people trying, some of them failed. And I had this amazing thing I'd built up, right? This nice resume. How was I going to stand up to that? The dream was now controlling me. And so my solution was to work even harder, to spend even more hours. But it's funny. It actually doesn't matter how fast you run if you're running in the wrong direction. So I remember the day that my wife woke me up to tell me that she was pregnant. A few months prior, I finally got the guts to start a company. And so I heard those words in slow motion. I'm pregnant. See, it wasn't working. It was a new place. There were new people to meet. There was a language I didn't understand. And honestly, I really just thought, why the hell did I do this? I had a really nice life. Things were going well. People were proud of me. And now I not only have to make everything happen again, now I have a child to worry about. And so I had a lot of soul searching to do. And I went to the expert of being an alien, my parents, and I talked to my mom about it. I was like, for the first time, Mom, what if I fail? I know you think I can do this, and I know all you guys say, but you don't know. You don't know how hard it is. You don't know the pressure. There's a lot of people that don't do it. And she'd smile, and she said, why do you think we came here? So I remember my dad painting walls, learning English, getting his master's degree, and eventually becoming that same teacher in a different land. It's empowering. Empowering to keep going. Empowering to dive deeper, to meet other people, other aliens along the path, to find an idea, to build a company, to raise funding, and to be on the path of fundamentally changing an industry. I was really close to giving up. And so I want you to think about the next time you feel like an alien. You're in an unfamiliar place. There's a language you don't understand. There's people you don't know. You're not really sure what you're supposed to do next. You might feel like you want to run. But I urge you, hold on to it. It's a massive opportunity for personal growth. Thank you.